Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Or Storm here with another video today. I'm talking about this is going to be a new little bit of a series. I'm going to do a bit of testing for this. It's basically like Yu-Gi-Oh card market watch to show talk about some cards that are going up on the market that if you own them, you might want to sell them, and if there's some cards that you've been wanting to get your hands on but are obnoxiously expensive, and now they're starting to drop and you might be able to get your hands on them. Also, if you have these cards and you haven't sold them yet, you can probably get rid of them. So I'm going to talk about a couple cards that are going up. Namely, some of the key Satellar Knight cards have really been going up. Namely, Satellar Knight Deneb and obviously the Counter Trap Stellanova Alpha. I don't know how to say it properly, but anyway. Basically, these cards are really going up. I don't really understand why. I know Star Seraphs were coming out, but I know they did decently at a recent YCS, but it was still it was only 6 Satellar Knight players, and I feel that the card is obnoxiously expensive, but like it's gonna be one of those cards that's just gonna fluctuate between 25 to 40 until it gets reprinted. So Deneb, if you own some Satellar Knight cards, namely Deneb or Alphas, I think they're going to go up there. This is pretty much the most expensive they're going to be for quite a while. So if you own them, this is probably the optimal time to get rid of them. And next, talk about a little bit about Shaddoll. Shaddoll prices have really been going up because they didn't really get hit on the ban list for obvious reasons. They weren't doing very well, and namely, the main ones are their big two fusions, El Shaddoll Winda and El Shaddoll Construct. I've seen Winda minimum, with the exception obviously is heavily played one. I've seen Winda everywhere from $22 to $26 depending on where you look. She's really been going up. Now, I will say about Winda, as you saw in my deck profile previously this week, I don't really like more than 2 copies, so it's not that, but again, it's $50 for 2 cards. That's quite a bit of money. But also other cards, obviously, like I mentioned, El Shaddoll Construct has been going up. She was hovering around 8 for a while, but then it went up to about 15, I think, last time I checked. Same thing with Shaddoll Fusion is also going up. I think it was at 15. Sinister Shadow Games has also been going up a bit, but honestly, I don't think it's going to ever go up to that $20 range because not every Shaddoll player even runs it. So I kind of feel that Shaddolls are topping out in terms of value now. I think they're honestly now more expensive than maybe they've been since Duelist Alliance dropped. So if you still have some Shaddoll fusions that I don't think they're gonna go up too much more. So now might be the optimal time to sell. Next thing I want to talk about is Solemn Scolding. Obviously, this is the hype card from the last YCS Chicago, where a lot of the Necros players are running it because if you're playing against Necros, it's not the mirror match, what do? You side in more trap cards. And Scolding is also fairly good in the mirror match because it can stop Valk from, Valk is one of the most annoying cards in Necros, and Scolding can stop it. So my thing on Scolding, I think it's a really overhyped card. I think, honestly, in my humble opinion, I do not think I would run it in a deck unless I can compensate with my own life points. Meaning I'm playing something like Arrow Mages where I'm constantly gaining life points, or I'm playing something like Thought Ruler Archfiend that gets me life points when I destroy a monster and send it to the graveyard. So I wouldn't really run Scolding in deck just because it doesn't play back row. I wouldn't not run this card in Burning Abyss when I can play Wing Blast and Karma Cut and stuff like that. Now, in something like maybe Sylvans, where I can make Thought Ruler, or Arrow Mages, where I get life points, maybe, but I don't feel like it has a place in anything but Necros, because or a deck where you can gain life points to compensate for the fact that you're paying 3,000, because you only have 8,000 life points. And another card's been going up quite a bit because the Star Seraph just released is Evil Swarm Ouroboros. Now, it's topping out at $20, and that's kind of crazy. Because now, other cards that you might want to get your hands on that could go up are cards like Vylon Dis, you know what I call it, the Vylon monster that requires 3 level 4s. That card, a lot of people will not be playing it, but I do think that could go up as well. Deltaros is bound to go up a bit, although I can't see the secret rare version of Deltaros going up more than 10 because it has 3 different prints. So Deltaros won't go too much, but I have a feeling it's gonna go up a bit more. I can't really think of any other honorable mentions of cards that are going up off the top of my head, but it's just basically like these cards are probably, if you own them, you probably want. Ouroboros is probably not going to be $20 ever at any other point in Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's probably now's probably the optimal time to sell. Cards that have been going down, there hasn't really been a lot of movement as far as stuff that's been going down. One thing I noticed last time I was checking card prices was that Emergency Teleport is finally going back down to where it was pre Secret Forces. Because I always say this, reason why we can't have nice things is because every time there's a really affordable budget deck, there's always one or two cards that the deck doesn't needs depends on your point of view, but needs, and they raise it to exorbitantly expensive prices. And that happened with Emergency Teleport and Lightning Chidori. E-Tele and Lightning Chidori are finally starting to drop from where they were. I think enough people were just saying, I'm not paying that type of $30 for E-Tele or Chidori, and it's dropping. And to be honest, I think that's a good thing. I think it's kind of silly when one card you need for a deck can cost more than the entire deck core. It's pretty crazy but now that those, I think so, if you still have E-Teles and you're not using them, now is probably the optimal time to sell, because they're only going to drop from here, in my opinion, because I think it's not so much that people aren't, there's not really, I just don't think people are going to pay $30 for it anymore. So if you still own E-Teles, as you can see from these prices, it's as low as $18 to $21. So if you still own E-Teles, now is the time to get rid of them. Same thing with Chidori. If you haven't already sold your Chidoris, now is probably the optimal time to get rid of them. And if you're looking for E-Teles, I think they could fall a bit more. But to be honest, because the fact that E-Tele was short print, the fact that E-Tele, what happened with E-Tele was that it went down initially like Vanities did, and then people realized after 5Ds that it was really short printed. So what happened is it went back up. So the same thing is that E-Tele is probably, it's probably going to hover around that $20, but it's not going to go up to $30 again. So like I said, if you own them and you're not going to use them, now's the optimal time to sell. So anyway, guys, I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. I really appreciate it when you watch my videos. If you like this series, it's something I will continue in the future, maybe every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on if the series gets the proper amount of comments and views. If you want me to continue this series, I can. And as always, I like to thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate when people watch my videos. Tune in on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays for more Yu-Gi-Oh content. Also, tune in on Thursdays for my streams from 2 to 5. I will be streaming after this video goes up in the afternoons. My streams are permanently moved to Thursdays from 2 to 5. It's at twitch.tv/aurastorm43. There's a link down in the description. You can follow me there. Also, like you saw from this video, please subscribe. This is Aurastorm signing out.